Hi friends, coming today to you today looking a little differently, but I feel like I was really drawn to like do this reading before I did my hair. I feel like there's something significant about like a stripping down sort of process. Something about, not that anything is wrong with extensions or weaves or whatever, however you choose to do your hair. But I feel like there's something about stripping away anything that is synthetic or false or like fake personas or a false perception of yourself that you've kind of put out there. And I feel like there's a process that you're going through right now that's really stripping you down and laying you bare. I mean, if you think about the process of like, taking down your, like, it's a process. It's a process, and it's not always necessarily a fun one. The same thing if you're soaking off acrylics, it takes time. I'm drawn to something around the time that it's taking. You could feel like it's taking a lot of time. You could feel very exhausted and depleted. Again, a lot of mirrored energy whenever we're aligned with divine messages, right? So I resonate to that a lot. I also have flies flying around my apartment. I do have the window open, but I rarely get flies in my apartment. But a lot of the time, that can indicate like sort of like a negative energy around you, but also like negative energy attacks. Like there could be watching eyes, people watching you, your name being brought up in a lot of different conversations. I think a lot of the time, like some of us can be very naive to the nature of human beings. I don't think we understand how vile it can get. I think some people have a very hard time understanding that there are individuals that will get on their knees and pray against you every night. That will wish bad things to happen to you. And even if it's just a thought, right? Even if it's just a thought followed with that emotion, like that can be enough for you to feel that, like energetically. And I feel like right now you could be dealing with some of that. Part of this stripping away process could also be stripping away people that are fake or false in your reality, that don't really care for you or don't really like you, that you could have really thought were your friends or family, or a partner that really you thought was supportive of you, but come to find out they really hate your guts, and they don't want to see you do well. I feel like this can be sort of this energy that you're in right now. I got 10 of swords too while I was prepping with this. I believe that's the card where she's like laying bare. It's like a night sky behind her, and then there's like 10 swords around her, and I think that this is representative of the protection that is around you. The thing about protection though is that you have to ask for it. And that draws me to this little incident that me and my dog had right before, again, while I was prepping for this reading. She wanted me to throw her toy, and I threw her toy, and I have this little bin, and it went into the bin, and she was looking in there, and she's definitely small enough to just hop in the bin, grab it, and hop out. I don't know what stopped her from doing that, but she tried it for maybe a good like minute, and then she came over here and touched my hand, and then looked in the direction of the bin like, can you help me? Can you go get it for me? And I got up and I went and got it for her, of course. But I feel like there is something significant about asking for help. You may have tried to figure it out on your own. You may have tried to, I have to work through the resistance with this energy, because I feel like it's been coming up a lot for me, and it's a very, I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of like resistance around it when it comes to, for me, I don't like to ask for help, and I feel like there could be something significant about you being put into the position where you're being forced to ask for help, you're being forced to ask for support, and you're being forced to understand that like that's not weakness at all. I think it's also important to ask for signs during this time. If you're like having a hard time with certain things, it's okay to ask for signs. I went on a walk yesterday. No, I actually left my phone in the car, which was really nice, and just walked. and was out there hugging the trees. Got busted hugging a tree. Sure, she was looking at me like I was, but it just felt so good because I could feel like energy being drawn from like my heart space into the tree. It was very interesting. But on my way out, I don't know if it was on my way. I think it was like at the beginning of my walk. Because I had laid down on a bench in like the beginning and just kind of looked up at the trees and just had like a moment with just everything, just source energy that was all around me. And I just said, you know, I really need some sort of support right now. Like I'm trying so hard to heal and do all of the things, and where I'm at right now, I haven't been here in a very long time, and it's very uncomfortable and discouraging. And I'm like, I just need some sort of sign that like I'm doing something right. Like, because right now I'm just trying to exist in the space of letting myself exist and not trying to fix or change how I'm showing up, because that's kind of part of the problem, is constantly feeling like I need to fix myself, and you can't accept yourself while you're actively trying to like fix every little thing about yourself. And so I just asked for a sign, for a message, for a reassurance. And then right before I got into the car, I seen 2 red cardinals. And then I also seen like this really cool little red rock, which I'm like a huge fan. I don't know if it had like some sort of like oxidation or what, but that wasn't there yesterday. But this is like little red rock, maybe even just like a little piece of brick, I don't know. But they know I love like stones and gems, and so I felt like this was a sign. And then when I looked up, I seen the 2 red cardinals. Well, maybe red is significant for you too. But yeah, we're gonna get into this reading. We're 6 minutes in. Sorry for the delay. Not sorry for the delay. If you are wanting to change up something about your appearance, though, I think it's significant that you do it. And if your immediate thought is what other people are going to say about you doing it, I think it's even more so of a reason for you to show up in the way that you want to show up. New piercing, new tattoo, whatever that is. Collective needs here. What is collective needs here? What is collective needs here? What is collective needs here? Sticking together. 7 of Pentacles. You can definitely be looking at the stuff that you've sown and it feels like it's dying. And it could be because you keep moving the soil to see if anything sprouted. But it also could just be like, let me use this example with like working out. Back when I was working out like 7 days a week, intense 2-hour workouts every day, I ended up having an inflammatory response where I like gained weight because my body didn't have any time to rest. So what I was trying to do and putting in so much work was actually pushing me further away from my goal. And I feel like this is this sort of energy. Like you're putting so much focused energy into like trying to make sure that you're doing everything right, or you're existing in a particular way that you feel like you're supposed to exist in this life that you're looking to have, or this person that you want to be, that is actually having the reverse effect on the things that you're trying to manifest into your life. It feels like everything is dying around you. And I think that there's just something about a stillness here that needs to take place. When you don't know what the next step is, or what the next step is to take, then you need to do nothing. You need to just sit still. You just need to sit in your own presence and allow things to go the way that they're going to go. Because the reality of it is that control truly is like an illusion. You know, we can manifest all day, and there's definitely an effect that you have on your reality. But when it comes to like how fast you think it's supposed to come in, or the way that you think it's supposed to look, like you don't get to say over that. You don't get to say like, I want to be this by tomorrow. I want this healed and removed by tomorrow. Like it doesn't work like that. And I feel like there's a certain level of control that is being forced from for you to relinquish during this period of time. It's kind of partially why everything is like, it feels like everything is dying, so that you can understand that the only thing that you have control over is your mindset. This came to me yesterday when I was laying on that bench too. Just looking at the trees and how they're like in this very stripped down state. And Spirit was telling me, like, isn't it so beautiful and interesting how they thrive in every season regardless of the condition, and they don't seek out or ask when the condition is going to change. They don't grieve the leaves that they've lost. Because the one beautiful thing about nature is it doesn't concern itself with the next moment. It only concerns itself with the present. They were bringing up the butterfly and how as beautiful as the butterfly is in that final state, they don't concern themselves with how short their life is going to be after that. They just exist as they are. That's what's so beautiful about nature. There's this lack of concern, there's this lack of control, and there's this beautiful just existence in being, and that is why it thrives the way that it does. Outside of our like touching it and manipulation, like if it was left alone, it would thrive in the way that it was supposed to. And regardless to our perception of like trees losing their leaves, and that is actually when the tree is the strongest, because it doesn't have that weight holding it down. And that's drawn me to, again, like the leaves here. You can feel like everything's kind of turning brown. Like it feels like you're almost like in your own internal sort of fall. You're having an internal season change is what I'm hearing. And you're misunderstanding kind of what it's supposed to be or what it's supposed to mean for you. And it just means it's a shedding. It's a change. But humans, we don't really like change. We like predictability. We like to know what's happening next. And we like to feel like we have some sort of control, even though we don't thrive within that space or that mindset. We got the Page of Pentacles. I feel like you give too much. You give too much. You always got your hand out. And not like you're asking for something, but like you have something on your hand and you're like, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. You may draw value from that, feeling like, I'm the one that's always there for everyone, or I'm the one that's always paying for everyone, or I'm the one that's always supporting everyone. And that's how I know I'm worthy, because I'm necessary. And I use that in quotation marks because the reality of it is if you weren't there for those same people, they would find somebody else and make them feel necessary. I feel like this could also just be around, like, especially with his foot on the books, like you give also, just not financially and energetically, but also like mentally. You give a lot within your mental space, a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge, a lot of clarity to people. You're good at giving advice, but you're pretty bad at taking it. And you give great advice, but when advice comes to giving it to yourself, it's a different set of rules for you. Birds in the sky, you know how I feel. How I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. You can feel like you're in a villain arc, I think the stripping down in villain, and not in the way of like you want to hurt other people or you're going to hurt other people. But a lot of the time, like in our society, the villain is just a person that chooses himself. It's just a person that says no. It's just a person that gains everything and does not feel the need to pander to the people that did not support them and did not care for them, simply because everybody else is telling them that that's what they should do. And they're not stingy in any way, shape, or form. But when the same people, and I keep getting this hit mentally lately, and I don't know why, but like, let's say you blow up on social media, and now all of a sudden people that you haven't heard from in 10, 20 years, oh, you want to collab? Like, I remember, like, you remember, like, amnesia, you forgot completely how our relationship used to be, or the fact that I haven't heard from you in over a decade, and you treated me like crap the last time we were around each other, but the only memories that you have are good ones because you likely very much showed up in their life in this very beautiful way. Not to say that you're perfect in any way, shape, or form, but I don't even feel like that needs to be included because you know your story. But there's something about this energy of people just kind of coming back around to you because they remember who you were when you were in that people-pleasing energy, which is, again, why all of this is kind of being stripped away. Because once you're in this position, there's going to be people that have treated you like crap for quite some time that are going to act like they forgot, and they're going to walk with a certain level of entitlement and expectation that you help them out of their current situation, or that you give to them the things that you've earned on your own through literal blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point, and they are going to expect you to give it. And you may also have people close to you like, you shouldn't hold a grudge, forgive and forget. Like, it's not about holding a grudge, it's about discernment, because your energy is also, your money is a form of energy. Like, everything you give is a form of energy, including, if you have a social media platform. Like, you have to protect yourself. And I feel like some of these things that you can be going through, some of these cord cutting, some of these revelations about the people around you are so that you can understand, like, that if you don't respect yourself, no one else will. It doesn't matter how much you plead to them, how much you say that this is unfair, the way that you treat me. Like, you cannot control how someone else treats you, but you can control how much you choose to sit back and accept. And it's okay to be upset about it, but there has to be a point where the boundary is drawn, the line is drawn. Otherwise, I'm just gifting your disrespect. 'Cause I'm feeling good. I feel like it's all gonna end up, what But I don't feel like that's what you need to hear right now, that everything is gonna be all right. Every little thing is gonna, because you likely, like, you can logically have an understanding of that. Like, at some point, I'm gonna come out of this. At some point, it's gonna be what I want it, or what I feel like it should be. But right now, it sucks. And it doesn't feel like, I feel like there could be this idea of like, yeah, it'll get better, but then it'll get worse again. Because you can have a lot of this ebb and flow, right? Like, this changing of seasons. But I just think the reality of it is like, we just get more fortified. I just think on this journey, you get more fortified. The low is a different sort of low. Like, it can feel as low as it's felt in the past, but like, there's some sort of boundary there that won't let you cross the same lines that you used to cross. And I think that that's the progress in it. And I just think that continues to change the more cycles that you kind of go through. Ace of Swords. New, fresh communication coming in. This could be around like your passions, or I'm hearing a new voice. You could be speaking with a new voice, with your true voice, especially if you have a habit of like code switching, or just not speaking in a natural tone. I feel like there's something about your voice that's going to change. I also feel like there's something about like the amount of F's you give that's going to kind of change when you speak. It's not going to be so filtered. Again, I feel like there's a lot of something here about like a falsehood that's going on, like a false perception, a false set of ideas, a false narrative that you've told yourself. Ancestors, hear my plea. You feel like you could be pleading. I know I've been pleading for some sort of release, for some sort of relief. They are listening. I think with her too, what I got when talking about the toy situation, when she lost it in there, like I didn't get this knee-jerk reaction to get up and go over there and help her. She had to come to me and ask for help. I think that's significant. I think there's also something here about like you have to learn how to work through it on your own. You have to learn how to soothe yourself. I mean, because imagine if you can bring yourself from like the depths of despair, how substantial that can be, not only for you, but for teaching other people that are within that space how to get out of that space. This is going to be our last card. Two of Wands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. You could be religious. You could walk the path of a chosen one. And I'm going to continue to just say this, like, chosen ones choose. You don't have to choose. But I feel like in a lot of ways, you feel like you have no choice but to, because you don't want your life to be any other way. Like, you see how your family has lived. You see how the people that have abused you in your life have went on and had no sort of remorse about it, and that's not the path that you want to take. So you feel like you have no choice but to choose this higher level of consciousness, this higher vibrational timeline. It doesn't feel like a choice to you. Like, but you can't see anything other than doing right, than trying to be a good person, than not becoming the monsters that you've encountered. I feel like there's also something here about like you could feel like your life is like not in your control, like it's not in your hands. Like God is punishing you, like someone's punishing you. But the idea of God punishing us is like based on like pagan beliefs. God doesn't operate off of a system of punishment and reward. That's also a patriarchal sort of concept and idea. We're not fucking Pavlovian dogs. He doesn't need to classically condition us to behave. Like, life just comes with certain things that are going to make you want to choose something differently, like inherently. Like, that's just how it goes. No one's punishing you. You don't deserve to be punished. I just find it so interesting, though, how deeply ingrained that is in us since, like, even, you know, damn near as soon as we come out of the womb, like, it starts with the affection, you know. Maybe you get a little time when you're an infant, but usually around, like, 1 or 2 when, depending on, I don't know, your culture, your experience, like, that's usually when discipline sets in, or, you know, we start little pat on the hand, little tap on the butt, little, you know, little menacing stare, you know. No hugs or kisses for a couple hours, like some form of punishment is being, and then we follow it, and it just kind of progresses in magnitude of what it is as you get older. And but a lot of the time it just feels like the love is being removed. I don't know why I brought that up. I kind of just went on a tangent there. But I think that could be like a central idea or like situation that you've dealt with a lot, is like punishment and reward. And so when it comes to you, confirmation burp, doing something, you feel like to balance the scales, like you have to punish or reward yourself. And I understand that as well. You're not alone. I send you guys off with all the love in the world. And I infuse this video with healing, Reiki energy. So I'm sending you love and light and positivity and peace during this time. Yeah. I love you guys. Bye.